Hey up woodlanders, welcome to another woodlog. In this one the planer blades have arrived. We're going to be stratifying some seeds. We've sold some stakes. We're finishing some Hazel panels and we'll have a chat about YouTube. Welcome to the vlog. Oh, a bit chilly this morning. Don't we hear the robin singing in the background? You might just hear that. Anyway, it's another trailer full of logs. This is off to Loughborough. You may have noticed that they're a little bit damp, and that's true. I sell them as that these will want just a little bit of drying out. They are seasoned because they've been cut over a year, but because of storage on the grass, then they soak up the dampness, so they do want seasoning. So that's a whole other subject about seasoning firewood. So I know I set myself up for a little bit too much this morning. In fact, sorry, there's the robin. If I can, no, it's gone again. See me coming. So in the log pile where I've had the logs out is the robin. She is tucking away at all the new grubs in the grass. See if I can capture him. There. Just dived in them logs just there. There, in that tree. Near it. Light robins. Anyway, so I know I've set myself up for a little bit too much today, which was getting the logs done, and I've also got to try and get these 2 6-foot panels finished, which is a tall order, I think. Trying to get them done, and I've got to get off to Loughborough by about 3:30. It's a half an hour journey, and then I've got to unload the logs when I get there. So just blast on with these panels really and see if I can get them done, but to try and get 2 6-footers finished in a day, that's yeah, that could be a bit too much. Just smacked my head on a piece of oak. About knocked me out. So this is the culprit here, look. A couple of planks of oak that were sticking out about here, and I bobbed down and walloped the side of my head straight into it. That'll teach me to tidy up properly, won't it? No harm done, I don't think. Where there's no sense, there's no feeling. So why have I launched a channel on YouTube? Well, I've been watching YouTube for years and years. Love it. Love YouTube. I love it because you can find out new things, you can discover how to fix things, which is, I can do a lot of that. How to type YouTube videos, reviews as well, like kit and technical stuff and mechanical stuff. Love YouTube for that. And I've always wanted a channel, or at least I've had a channel, but I've never developed it. And the reason for that is I have no idea on editing, camera equipment. I think when we first moved into our house that we're currently in, the Victorian house, I got to strip some wallpaper off the wall, and I just bought this little action cam. It was an SJ Cam 4000, I think. And it had a time-lapse feature. Well, that's clever. Anyway, so I did this time-lapse of me stripping the wall, which I thought was cool. Anyway, I honestly did not know how to edit that and get it up onto YouTube. Now, the Blackford videos that are way back, I actually used a YouTube editing bit of software, and that seemed to work okay. A bit limited, but it was okay for what I wanted it for. But in more recent times, I'm like, how on earth do these creators make these fantastically edited videos? How do they do that? I was always amazed by it. I used to watch loads of like Jimmy D'Aresta, Steve Ramsey's, John High season. Another one I used to watch just for entertainment was a guy called Casey Neistat, this American fella, and he used to do some amazing editing. He was a video editing master. I used to watch, in fact he used to do a daily vlog, and it's amazing how one guy could make running round the block and riding on his skateboard entertaining. But he was a master at it. And it's a shame because he's gone now. I don't know where he's gone. I think his channel's still active. But Casey, if you're watching, bring some videos back. I love your editing style. More recently, I've started watching, I was doing some research for a new camera. Anyway, I found this guy called It's Sky. He's fairly newish to YouTube, I think. And American chap, and I think he lives in Amsterdam somewhere. But I found his videos because he did a lot of reviews on the DJI Pocket. And he's a really funny guy. He's just got this crazy laugh. Really funny, quite an extrovert. Well, I was wondering actually, if you've got a YouTube channel, how would you describe your content on your YouTube channel? By all means, make a comment in the section below. Tell me what your YouTube channel is about, and in just a couple of words, I'm such and such, this is my YouTube channel, and I do this. And then, or maybe you've always fancied doing a YouTube channel. What on earth would you put on it? What would be your, well, they call it a niche, don't they, on YouTube? What would be your niche subject on YouTube? I'd be interested. So please comment. We'll have a bit of a discussion on that. Because, and the reason why I've got into it this year is because last year, short story, last year I had COVID, changed my diet, tried to eat better and healthier things, and as a result I feel a lot more motivated and a lot more mentally alert with everything. So I just thought, once I got over the whole chatting in front of a camera when there's nobody about thing, because that's a bit weird, once I got over that, and I would say I'm over it, but I'm getting better at it. And then what I did, there was a guy called Ian, so he says, why don't you try the Windows, so Microsoft Windows 10 has got a video editing program. I think it's called Movie something or other. Anyway, Movie Creator. So I thought, well, I'll try that. Anyway, he showed me a bit about how to use it, and it's a really quite straightforward sort of program, and you can just pull all your pictures in. It stitches them all together. You can display them for like 3, 5 or 10 seconds, and you create this sort of 2-minute video, and you can just watch them. My daughter watches them, and that was really great. And I said to Ian, can I edit videos on it? He says, yeah, of course you can. Now it doesn't do 4K, so I record everything in 1080p, but it does 1080p perfectly. So you just import it, and then you can cut them, you can switch them about, you can add new stuff in, you can speed them up, slow them down, you can add music, although the music isn't great, but I'm just kind of looking into the options for adding music, especially to B-roll, because otherwise it gets a bit boring. So that's an idea. Anyway, I got into that, and I really enjoy it, and I think it's because the program's quite simple. So he said, why don't you check out DaVinci Resolve, which is a free editing program, and I downloaded it. Good grief, that's complicated. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I've looked at some tutorials for half an hour on YouTube, and I still don't know what I'm doing with it. But I want to persevere with it because I've got some 4K footage from a holiday, and it's either compress the footage, however they do that, down to 1080p and edit it in my Windows program, or try and persevere with DaVinci Resolve. So that's the video editing side of it, and I've got into that, and so hence I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do the YouTube thing, see where it goes. And believe it or not, we've gone from like 6 subscribers to 12, and then once I'd done the video about making Hazel panels and shared it on Facebook, wow, it just shut up. The amount of views, I think we're up to today, up to about 42 subscribers, which in YouTube is like, I mean, that's just a dot. But for me, I think that's amazing. There's 42 of you that follow. That's fantastic. Thanks for that. Anyway, I must press on. Thanks for the little listen. Right. So that was good. That's Kevin, who's the must be the chairman of the Heartwood Woodfield Community Group. And we were just talking about charcoal and having a bit of a natural about woodland life. We were saying what a fantastic day it is, and wished every day in winter was like this in the coppice. But he was also talking about some training. So the National Forest have asked me to do some coppice training. So there's some volunteers, that the Heartwood volunteers, they want to increase their skill sets and also their knowledge of woodland management. So there are Going to learn a little bit of the basics of coppice, why, when, how, and we're doing that in a woodland near Hartshorn, which is a local village. Anyway, as you see on the background, I've nearly done my first 6-foot panel, so we're getting there. Just a little bit more to go, and then we can start a second. But it's nearly lunchtime. But yeah, look at this today. It's fantastic. Right, that's it. One down, one to go. And then this one, I'm just not quite managed to finish it. I've got to go and deliver some logs now, so I think this panel will have to get finished next week. So I managed to get back out this afternoon and managed to finish this 6-foot by 6-foot. So I've got 2 finished, destined for black for B, and it might be next week we'll get to fit that, hopefully. But for now I've got to bag up some logs for home, or put some stakes in the trailer, go and pick up my daughter from school because Karen's not very well today. So we don't have a log store up at home, we tend to store them here, and we keep them in these wire basket cages. You might be able to just see on the camera. And that keeps them aired, so we get some wind blasting through them, which is great. And then we just put a bit of a tarpaulin over the top to keep the wet rain out, and they dry absolutely brilliantly. And we use these white polypropylene bags, which have been brilliant. I've had these for a few years now. They're starting to deteriorate. You might just see polypropylene just starting to disintegrate there, and I think that's the sun doing it. So when they sit in the sun sometimes, I think the sun just gradually deteriorates that. So I've got a new one here, look. This is a garden bag. Now the white one's good because it's got a lid on with Velcro, but these green ones are slightly bigger. I think they're 90 litre garden refuse bags off eBay. Same sort of thing, but with no lid, and they're a little bit bigger. But I think they're like 10 bags for 20 something pounds, which I didn't think was too bad. We get several years out of them, and it works for us. And of course, when you're not using them, they fold flat, which is great. There we go, look, I'll show you. So these have been undercover. Split these around about June, July, and beautiful and dry now. Not got a moisture meter on me, but I bet these probably about 18%, something like that, which is perfect. You want them below 20. Below 20% moisture content is for ideal firewood. It's safe to say that green bag is an awful lot bigger than the white ones, so I can't fill it full because it gets to the point where I can hardly lift and drag it. So good bag, perhaps a bit on the big side. Right, that's the stakes in as well. There's 70 there, but some of them are a little bit bent, so what I'll do is give the hedge layer a couple of extra bundles, because some of these, like that one there, look, got a horrible dog leg, and you might be able to use that, but if you can't, at least he's got some spares. So a good start this morning. The Able To team have got all 250 stakes ready for Martin. He's a hedge layer from Staffordshire, and then the next is to carry on coppicing. So a pretty good day today. Able To team has been stacking up firewood, and the hedging stakes have gone, which is good and paid for, which is always a bonus when payment comes. Been felling and coppicing at the far end today in this woodland in Rosseston, and it's all firewood really. There's hardly any materials in it at all that I can sell at the moment. I think I've got about 30 stakes all day at 80 pence, 85 pence each. So what's that work out at? About 25 quid. Just about covers the fuel. Trials and joys of coppice work. And then of course there's a firewood, but that won't sell really now until either summer this year as greenwood firewood or next winter. But yeah, it's been a right good clear up, so you can see on the floor that was all covered in, if I just twist the camera in, that was all covered in firewood material, so Karen's had a good clear up, stacked it all. Just turn you around. There's one of the firewood stacks, and we're getting on towards that big willow at the top. Remember from the other wood log, I got this willow here, look, and then I want to get up to that willow. So that's the ambition this afternoon, is to finish off and get those, I think 3 and a bit stalls finished, which would be nice. And I just feel like I've accomplished some, but let some daylight in. Look at that, that was all completely covered. You couldn't see, so. Managed to get up to that big willow in the end, which is great. So next week I'll be starting on these here and then working my way back over towards where the apple tree orchard is. Tomorrow I'm going to try and fix my planer. The parts came yesterday, which is good. I've got 2 new belts and a pulley for that, so I can fix the planer. That means then we can crack on with the timber for the bedroom. Our delivery came this week, so we have our all new pulley. This is the old one. That's the one with the teeth all mashed up on it. This is the new one, so we'll be all right and set for that. And I think I've worked out in my mind how that may have happened, because I was using dual blades, which means that the cutters go round from where I'm standing clockwise like that. Yeah, that's right, and the feed rollers go around anti-clockwise to push the timber through, which means that the cutter is working against the feed rollers. And I think because I got dual blades and because I nearly stalled the machine a couple of times, I think what's happened is it's put too much torque on this and it's ended up stripping the cog. So it's my own stupid fault for not having decent sharp knives on it. So that is a lesson learned for me. But if you've got dual blades, get them sharpened or put new blades on. Yes. Back together. I'll put the side cover on. I don't know about you, when you fix something, whether you get that fear that something might just go bang when you switch it on. Let's switch this on and see what happens. that worked out well. So I'm going to laminate these together like that, and then put another one there like that, which will go long, and then the other long piece will go underneath like that, and then there'll be another piece on top, so that this joint here, sorry, will be staggered. So that's the general gist of it. Probably not the most ideal of circumstances, and a woodworker never has enough clamps, but I've glued them up, clamped them together. Is some Western Red Cedar seeds, Thuya plicata, and apparently you have to stratify them, which means you have to put them in cold storage, and the first part of that process, according to the instructions, is to soak them in water. So I've got a bit of water in there, look. You soak them for 24 hours, then you drain all the water off, you put them in a Ziploc bag, and you put them in the fridge for about 8 weeks, and that simulates being out in the cold with a frosty winter. If you don't do that stratification, that break in the dormancy, then chances are the seeds don't germinate. And some seeds aren't like that at all. Others really do need that process, particularly small seeds, I've found. So what we'll do is we will tip these in the water. We will leave them to soak for 24 hours. And then I've got a Ziploc bag just on the top of the freezer, and we'll put them in the fridge then. So yes, we'll come back to these. This is an ongoing project, so we will have to update you in future episodes of the Woodlog. So by all means subscribe and stay tuned for that. If you're not familiar with Thuya or Western Red Cedar, it's often used for shingles on buildings and for fencing and fence panels, and it's got a very unusual smell to it as a timber. It's really lightweight, but I tell you what, it lasts for years and years and years. You often hear people say, you know, cedar shingles on the side of that building, and that's what it'll be. It'll be Western Red Cedar. Quite incredible timber, really. So we're back with our Western Red Cedar seeds, and I have soaked them. It says soak, but they tend to float, so I'm not sure how soaked they are really. Anyway, got my Ziploc bag according to instructions, and what we're going to do is we're going to drain the water off, which I'll do just now in the sink, and then put the seeds in a Ziploc bag, and then put the Ziploc bag in the fridge and leave it there for about 6 weeks. So that was interesting, trying to get those out of the soaker. I think I'm going to struggle to separate them off this now. So tiny. Okay. In the fridge. That's it for this one. Thanks ever so much again for watching, and as always, if you're able to, get out in some woodland this week. See you on the next one.